decisions and recommendations to tangible actions. We urge the leadership of the structure that will be elected into office to finalize and share with us their priorities for the year, while ensuring that the gaps that led to the collapse of the founding structure are addressed and WOMESA is on a solid ground this time around. Its role and mandate are extremely important if we are to make a meaningful impact in the livelihoods of women in the sector, the girl child, and many of our young people who look into the ocean's economy for opportunities towards a better life. The relaunch of WOMESA, South African chapter, also sends a clear message that South Africa is committed to advancing gender equality in the maritime sector and stands ready to work with other stakeholders to promote fair and equal opportunities for all workers in the industry. Ultimately, this can help to make the maritime sector a more inclusive and diverse industry and drive greater innovation and competitiveness in the global market. As South Africans, we say, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. We definitely are the rock. I thank you very much.
I think it's fair we all join the minister and stand. Haige. Avele appel. Thank you so much, Minister. We are within the time for the program. For me, the things that I get from the minister's statement, it's authenticity. It's how we all want to be there, but we're not authentic. We all want to be there, but we have limited capabilities. We all want to be there, but we don't want to be dedicated. In just reading a short line from Charlotte Maxeke, it says, if you can rise, bring someone with you. And the minister has just done it. The minister has opened the floor to the women in maritime. That if you are available to rise, let's rise. It's tea time. We're not going to have a speaker now, but the statement was taking us into tea and our next speaker. Can I request we take 20 minutes for tea time, so that when we come back we are ready. Thank you so much.
Recording in progress.
Didn't work. But here we are. Let's move. Because most times, all we want to acknowledge are the good things. Sometimes we have an impact on the good things, but sometimes we just want to acknowledge the good things because they happen in our time. But when we bring out the bad things, or for the things that failed or the things that didn't work out, you want to make sure that you find who was there. Who was the driver of that car? We don't care if what happened were there casualties or not, but all we want is to punish. So the next speaker is going to be Ms. Mpumi Dweba Kwetana, who is the port manager of the Port of Durban. And I really applaud you, Sisi, for doing this. I really, I think for me, it reminds me of a statement that one lady shared, who said, how do we address failures? How do we take them? Because most times we just want to kick them under the carpet and just let the lying dogs lie. But now this is a point that we really wanted to say, as we revive it, let's be honest about the death, so that as Yesu we know why he's resurrecting. So we are at that point. Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much, Program Director. And if you haven't noticed, I'm actually standing up. The Program Director, Ms. Lula Mthembu, the Honorable Minister of Transport, Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, the Chief Whip, the Department of Transport, Head of Department, the Chief Executives of the industry. I've seen the Acting Chief Executive for the Ports Regulator of South Africa, SAMSA, Sayami eThekwini Maritime Cluster, Moses Kotane Institute, the Deputy Director General for the Maritime Industry in the Department of Transport, Mr. Mthunzi Madia, General Managers from TNPA, SAMSA, and PRSA, and from the shipping industry, the IMO representative, the regional WOMESA representative, port managers from various ports, the pilots, the harbour masters. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. I think it's still a morning. Okay, it's afternoon. A very good afternoon. My role today is just to navigate and take you back the memory lane on the establishment of WOMESA in 2007. Just a bit of background without wasting time. The International Maritime Organization is the agency of the UN which is responsible and tasked to actually handle the United Nations affairs in international maritime transport. And the IMO, as the agency of the UN, was tasked in 2007 and is still tasked even today to achieve the 2030 UN Agenda for Sustainable Development and the sustainable goals, in particular goal number 5, to achieve gender equality and to empower all women and girls to be able to participate in the maritime space. Hence, it was in 2007 that the IMO, through its subcommittee, actually adopted the theme of empowering women in the maritime community. The IMO has established a subcommittee, and I think I've mentioned this one, which is called the IMO Gender Program in 2007. And the objectives of this committee, amongst others, was to ensure that there is participation, there is entry of previously disadvantaged women in the maritime space. Not only that, but to drive a program that is clear on the promotion of the maritime industry, to also as well identify those who actually were in the maritime space but wanted to grow to the higher levels in the maritime space. Not only that, we identified that there was another category of women who were outside the maritime space but who were aspiring to cross over and participate in the maritime space. So a clear program on careers promotion, a clear program on the promotion of opportunities within the maritime space was actually developed. And as well, it was also in 2007 where we decided as WOMESA to actually form our own committee, and we had Unensi, who was actually the chairman of the committee, with our WOMESA offices established in Mombasa and in Kenya. I'm not going to waste time on the nations who participated, because the minister has really assisted us with the countries who participated in the WOMESA. Other than to emphasize that as part from the IMO's initiative, those who have been in the maritime, Captain, you will recall that it was also in 2009 in Durban, where there were all African countries who assembled in Durban to launch the African Transport Maritime Charter. So the African Transport Maritime Charter enabled us to actually expedite and drive forward the agenda of women participation in the maritime space. Ms. P is still participating in PAMESA, and at the same time, there is a Port Management Association of the Eastern and Southern Africa, and one of the subcommittees of PAMESA at that time was WOMESA. So at least we were nicely cushioned as women to actually drive the program of transformation and the inclusion of women in the maritime space. But it will be remiss of me, Honorable Minister, if I don't acknowledge the role and the support that we received from the political leadership and from the administrative leadership at that time. I can stand in front of you and indicate that the minister at that time was Minister Jeff Radebe, supported by the Director General at that time, Ms. Mpumi Mpofu. They actually gave us their best support. And at the same time, we also received support from the then Minister of Public Enterprises, Minister Alec Erwin, together with her DG at the time, Ms. Portia Debbie, and who is currently the GCE for Transnet now, we received a lot of support from them. Also as well, we received a lot of support from Mr. Tsietsi Mogele, who was the Chief Executive of SAMSA at that time, supported by Ayanda Mngadi, Selma Onunsindiso, and the other ladies who were within SAMSA. And as well, we received support from the then Chief Executive of the South African Port Regulator, Mr. Riyad Khan. And as well, a lot of support was received from the then Chief Executive of TNPA, Mr. Tau More, who then delegated Captain Rufus Ligala together with Usus Lunga to work with us in achieving the transformation in the port sector. I don't want as well not to acknowledge the role that was played by Mr. Paul McClones, who is currently at AMSOL, the Chief Executive of AMSOL, together with the shipping industry, Captain Sano, working through SASOA at that time to really assist us to drive the program of the women. Not only that, I would like to also take an opportunity today to also acknowledge the women who actually play a front or a leading role in the establishment of the South African chapter. The likes of Dato Tsause, the likes of Advocate Nosipo Sobekwa, Karen Naidu, Dr. Henriette Van Niekerk, Claire Gomes, Ayanda Mngadi, Teresa Williams, Selma Swatch, the Nunsindiso, the Nomkita Mbele, the Debbie, the Noma Sakela, and the others were part of the leading team at that time. And I am excited that some of those women are with us today. They paved the way for us to be where we are today. For me, I take them as pioneers in this industry. Not only ignoring the likes of Ms. Phyllis DeVito and others. And I was saying, Honorable Minister, I think it is time for us to run the race and hand over the baton to the next generation. We are almost, I think all of us now, almost over 50, except Nomkita. I think Nomkita was far younger than us. So I think it is time now to hand over the baton to the next generation. Amongst the initiatives that came from the launch of the South African chapter was the review of the bilateral agreement, DDG, between South Africa and Belgium, where we signed an MOU helped by the Department of International Relations at that time. We signed the MOU, and out of that MOU, that is where we actually gave birth to the trainings that are taking place at Antwerp, which we continued as the Department of Transport, working with the SAMSA as an agency of DOT to continue to send people, not only women, but to also send even people and officials within the TNPA, SAMSA, and also other government departments. Also, another initiative that we were rolling out was to work through the IMO to send some of our people to the Malmo University, to also the World Maritime University. Some of us who are here will recall the Isitengile High School in Pinetown, Durban. We have DDG Miss Malungile Musuku, who was the beneficiary of those initiatives. Also, as well, we're looking at what are the career initiatives that we must drive. We partnered with SAMSA at that time to aggressively, together with AMSOL, to aggressively promote the maritime industry. And our focus was starting from the primary schools. Because we were looking at that time, there was a lot of report from the IMO that there was a shortage of seafarers worldwide. So we then decided to say which nation, seafaring nation, must we benchmark with. We identified the Philippines. And as we identified the Philippines, we looked at their education system. When you're looking at their education system, in as much as they are a maritime nation, but within their education system, they introduced maritime from the primary school up until high school. So the intention was to position South Africa as a maritime nation, but also as a nation that will actually produce seafarers. I'm also excited as well, Honorable Minister, to indicate that TNPA at that time, we were not calling them DDG as TNPA, we were calling them as the authority. So, and we were aggressive about it, that they are the authority. So we were calling them as the authority. They actually embraced that idea. I'm looking at the picture, Honorable Minister, that is being displayed here, of how Captain Rufus Lekala, together with the then leadership, they actually transformed that space, which was a sacred space, the space around pilots, around the tag masters. When you're looking at what we have today, Minister, I think in the port of Durban, 2 of my deputy harbour masters are female. You go to the port, go to the port of Richards Bay. The harbour master in the port of Richards Bay is a female. We are not only that, it was the initiative of actually men saying we are going to embrace what WOMESA is doing, but we are not going to embrace it, we are going to translate it into action. Captain, thank you so much. A round of applause. And Honorable Minister, I am treading carefully that I don't get into the space to say what happened. But I can honestly say it was the change of leadership. I think sometimes as institutions, when we change leadership, there's no continuity. So I think that is without preempting what the commissions are going to identify when they're looking at the root cause analysis. But I think fundamentally that's what actually caused the drop in the ocean. But we are not giving up, Honorable Minister, but would really like to sincerely appreciate you, the role that you are playing, even yourself knowing how busy you are to be here to actually grace us. And thanks as well to the Department of Transport. Thank you so much, DDG, for thinking that this initiative is really important to be revived. We thank you so much. But the message that I'm giving all of us as I'm about to sit down is that I am this morning, I am just getting to get a car. In fact, I'm not driving, so Thokozani is driving. So I'm following Thokozani, and it's raining. So I want to get into this door. This door is locked in one of these hiring companies. The big door, it's locked. It's raining, right? And they've put in a dustbin to actually block the door so that we use the other entrances. And I am kind of like thinking, have we reduced our country to this level, that an international airport will, for whatever reason, use a dustbin to close the door? And I don't want to be political, but I think our country really needs us to stand up, Dr. T. Our country really needs design thinkers. Our country needs the innovators. Our country requires inventors. Our country requires system thinkers. Our country requires problem solvers. Because I'm asking, could it be that they've reduced the maintenance budget? That is why the doors could not even be closed. But I think that was unacceptable. I wish you well. I wish you well. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Aike yacho ke ila kuthiwa it all boils down, Minister, to leadership. Kuthiwa you put initiatives on the ground and people run with them. But when the leadership changes, umuntu aphinda abuthi imete zakhe, and you want to redesign the room. And at the time, we have not looked or checked. What do we have? Is it the structure that needs to be changed? Is it still serving the purpose that it was meant to design? Or maybe as you walk in the room, when I just decided to go to, now that I'm here, it doesn't matter what it costs or who it's going to impact. But the change that I want, if it was working or not, You worry not. Because now it's Mamuchikuka. It's her way or no way. Or you just run on the highway and see yourself. But I think that's a nice one, Ukuti. She didn't point at people. And I'm happy that she also acknowledged some of the soldiers on the way. And we can see that it's not that it died, because it did produce some of us that are standing through TNPA. I'm a product of TNPA. I always tell my SAMSA colleagues that colleague SAMSA has not yet done something for me that I can go out there and stand for. But when I think TNPA, I see me. So I think it's a challenge in the organizations, Minister, that are out there. They all serve the maritime industry. But why, when I get to the one, I feel as if I'm somewhere else? Why am I not saying I'm home, but it's just another room? But I can still walk out here and get to the lounge and get to the kitchen. I'll still feel good. I'm home. But unfortunately, the industry reduces you. I'll use the word reduces you to a space. I'm happy, Mama, where I am. And I'm happy because where I came from, I was groomed. Where I came from, when I had to jump ship, I knew that it's either I'll use the pallet ladder, it's either I'll use the helicopter, it's either the tug will be able to come alongside, but there are resources that are between me and where I want to go. And when that opportunity came, it was a matter of deciding, am I safe or not? What restrictions are there? Can I actually just jump on board? And I used the means that were available. But I knew that I'm still home. I knew that I'm still home. I was telling some of the colleagues that I was so excited. Minister. Mama, I still hold you in that. I was so excited to be coming to the conference because it meant a lot. Actually, it means a lot to me because I know I'm one of the maritime products. I'm one of the products, near the Alwal North guys. Abayazi Alwal North. Ingaki Alwal North. Now you down near ShopRite. Jay, Kautel your ShopRite. No one will ask which one. In the town is just one way. We are in town. You can. I run from my home to town and back, and I'm happy. But I know when I'm in these platforms, I stand proud and represent that place and represent it with pride. It might have all the other things that are there. It might be limited on resources and all, but wherever or whenever it's possible, I will always make sure I am proud to say that's where I come from. That's my home. That I am Lulama because of that place. I am Lulama because of everything that happened in that place. And in saying that, Minister, I want to say that's what we want from WOMESA. That's the hope, or that's the stand we're hoping WOMESA will deliver for the women in maritime. That's the hope that we want WOMESA to say, if these are the objectives that are out there, the objectives are not only better for Lulama just because she was an MC, but we're able to recognize the other underlying dogs, the other good, authentic young people. Sister has mentioned age. Yes, we don't mind the over 50s because we will get knowledge from them. There's experience, they've walked the journey, there's wisdom, there's a lot that we'll take from there. But also, it's not wisdom only that makes us grow. The new seeds must be planted. They must be watered. They must be given an opportunity to grow. The phases will be there. It will storm. It will do this. It will do that. Definitely, even those who have wisdom, those are some of the things that they've endured. Those are some of the challenges that they were willing to stand against, to make sure that something good of this nature happens. I think hence the relaunch. But the best part of it now, Minister, we said it's for women, but we have men. Sis Mbume mentioned Captain Rufus. So now we want to give an opportunity to the male leaders who are out there to be the one who stand in front of us and say, in my organization, this is how I will ensure that the contribution is paid forward. Sis Mbume has mentioned that it was the leadership that changed. But the fortunate part now is this is the current leadership that is there. So how now, from here to forward, how are they coming forward to contribute and make sure that it was not just a launch for the minister. It was not just a launch to tick a box, but this is actually what will come from the organizations. I think the first speaker is going to be my organization, Ms. P. SAMSA. I will like to call Mr. Nzimeni Ramokondo, who is currently the acting CEO.
Thank you, Program Director. I know the center must wait because there's a background that needs to be done. But in that Program Director, I thought you indicated that the organization has died. But I want to say, as we continue to say, Vuga WOMESA, Vuga. Kula WOMESA, Kula. Yes, because definitely this is the relaunch, and as the ministers indicated, that indeed this is the time that we're going to take a new direction and a new path towards the recovery of the organization. Honorable Minister of Transport, Ms. Sindisiwe Chikunga, please allow me, Minister, to stand and observe all established protocols and say all protocol observed as we move. And indeed, it is a great honor and privilege that I greet and welcome you most cordially in the relaunch of one of the strategic formation within the maritime sector, which is WOMESA. And in that, when I was briefed that there is the relaunch of WOMESA in Kabeja, and they said there are two options. One option, you can be recorded, and the other option, you can go. And we said, really, the strategic role of WOMESA and the addressing of women issues will not warrant one to be recorded. Will want to be there and will pledge support. And as I heard the history, where WOMESA is coming from and the progress, and sitting next to Captain there, said no, indeed it was befitting that we come here and also ask to follow the leaders who have come and support the organization, and that's what we continue to do. Even leaders change in organizations mention the role of SAMSA that has played over the years, and this is something that when we read about SAMSA and where it's going in its programs, we say we need to also to continue to support in that cause and make sure that happens. So this organization is critical towards addressing the challenge of transformation, inclusion, and creating a conducive environment in this male-dominated environment, and that we've had, and we need to change that, and that need to be a very deliberate effort that we go and make sure that there is a conducive environment and it is inclusive inclusive. But also the relaunching is taking place at the home of the legends. And as we're indicating that these are the legends that have really contributed greatly in the pre-colonial, colonial, and after-colonial as we move towards the liberation of our movement. And the same, I think, as we're going to elect leadership, will reflect on that and say there will be a leadership that will be taking the organization forward. Again, it is the relaunch that is taking place in the month of May. And I think the first day of May, we know it is the International Workers' Day. And in the International Workers' Day, it reminds us about the celebration of workers' rights and remind the critical role played by the workers in addressing the socio-economic challenges. And in that contribution and those achievements, we know the role that women plays towards that particular role. And that's also as we're moving. And again, the 18th of May, it is the International Day for Women in Maritime, which is centers around the issue of recruitment, retention, sustained employment, and SME development. And I think those are the programs that we should also align as we're moving forward. And the statistics around us are not looking good. As it says, out of the 1.2 million seafarers, 2% of them are actually women. And 94% of that 2%, as reported, is in the cruise industry. So if those were a reality, it means that we need also to drive programs and be able to change that. But also, last week we attended the African Maritime Leadership Conference hosted in this place, and there was a robust discussion that is taking place, and some of the discussion critical was around issues of skills development within the maritime sector. And I think the resolution and the discussion there flows in very well into this relaunch, because the discussion that has been there said we need to be able to make sure that within the maritime sector or the ocean economy end to end, we need to be able to grow skills, and we need to also to ensure that there is pipeline of skills. And lastly, also last week or this month, it is the Africa Day, a celebration that took place on the 25th of May. But I also want to draw that in the African Union that there are instruments in place that also, as we're doing this work, we need to align with them, which are towards the women empowerment, which amongst them talks about the gender equality and women empowerment strategy. So I think in that, to move forward, there is that critical role around fostering partnership, and borrowing this from the theme of the last week conference, which what has come out is that we need also to foster partnership and collaboration in order to drive this work. And I'm glad that even coming from the history that I came, that all these structures has collaborated to make sure that we deliver on this role. I think as SAMSA will remain committed, and we pledge our support to WOMESA and are available to partner with WOMESA on programs aimed towards the transformation and development of the sector. In that, Honorable Minister and Program Director, I applaud your unwavering commitment and wish you tremendous success in the relaunch of the South African chapter, and your endeavors continue to inspire, uplift, empower women, and may your collective achievements serve as a beacon of hope for more inclusive and equal future. Thank you.
And next on the list, my next speaker, he's got experience in transport industry. He made sure he drove taxis before he crossed over to the water. So when you go to PDP, he's available. When you cross over to the water licenses, he's also available. The Chief Harbour Master, Captain Rufus Lekana.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Program Director. You remind me of my younger days. And I'm from Mamelodi. The Department of Transport is very close to my route to home all the times. And Honorable Minister, good afternoon. Allow me to say protocol observe. I am honored to be part of this gathering today, celebrating the relaunch of WOMESA, which is one of the initiatives that is very close to my heart. And I can disclose, Honorable Moderator, I'm married to a woman in Maritime. It starts from home. They say if you can't beat them, join them. So, and our story is very memorable because she was a very nagging woman. I was a mariner, and I thought, you know what? She complains too much. Let me her join me as a mariner. And she joined me, and we've been there for 27 years together in the maritime. For today's significance, I just want to go. I'm not a biblical person, but since I can see the program director started with the biblical, I took a quote from the Proverb 31, verse 25, and I'll quote it. I want to quote it like this. Miss P, you're listening, because this is very significant for today's event. The verse says, she is clothed in strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. This was my mother when she was still alive. She will then always remind me of this because she raised us, 8 of us. My dad passed away when I was 2, and there was 8 of us. And this is what she left with. 4 until I am this man today. So I'm raised by a woman. I can't say it's a single woman. She was a widow, but she gave us that strength. And I wrote a little bit of a poem today for the women in Maritime. I'm not going to, and I'll read it. I said, women in Maritime do not need any approval of any man. Strong women in Maritime sails the seas, the rough seas. They conquer them by themselves. With the inner strength that they had, they really showed that the maritime world can be conquered. Women in Maritime, you are a brave woman in an industry that proved not to be so kind to women. Because you had a dream, you accomplished your goals with distinction. Never let anyone break your heart. Be strong enough to put everything together yourself as women in Maritime, like we are gathering here today with the relaunch of this WOMESA South Africa. Women in Maritime, you are constantly put to test. Your maturity is keeping you going at all strength. The scripture is giving you this. The Proverb 35, verse 25 is Proverb 31, verse 35. My affection for your maturity never fades. And there's a slide that is shown here. That is my affection. Is that facts don't lie. It was in this province in 2012 when we set ourselves a goal. I think Captain Lubego was sitting here. I was just 1 year appointed as a chief harbour master. And we had a harbour masters forum. And in that harbour masters forum, we had only one harbour master at the time. It was Nontindiso, Jazi. And we set ourselves a goal to say, if we don't achieve 50-50 split within 10 years, we would have failed of harbour masters. Honorable Minister, we did it in 5 years. And The witnesses are in the house. We've got Captain Slindile, he's here. We've got Captain Dube. We've got Captain Klude. We've got Captain Zungu. They are all ladies. And we didn't appoint the ladies just because they are ladies. They are made of strength. And I go back to quote again in terms of my Proverbs 31, verse 25, is that their strength and dignity allow them to serve the maritime industry with distinctions. And captains, I wish you well, and I hope that you're going to really contribute to the WOMESA South Africa in many ways or the other. I watch with joy. That's my poem. I watch with joy every time when I see the maturity of the women in maritime, all the time. It makes me happy. My heart goes out to the movement with compassion, maturity, demonstrate that the maritime world, it's not the world of men. And South Africa has shown that everywhere where I go in the world, I make sure that I advocate that maritime in South Africa is transformed. It's not about to be transformed. It's transformed. 40% of our employees in Transnet TNPA are ladies in the maritime department. And that's a fact. Minister, in closing, I want to leave the congregant with one of my philosophy. What drives me all the time when I wake up in the morning to go to work is about leadership. It says leadership is not about, it says leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence. Make sure that the impact lasts in your absence. So when we formulated the strategy of transforming the maritime department in TNPA, it was not about me. It was about what was there, and it's about what we're going to leave behind. And I'm glad to say that we have produced capable leaders that can take maritime anywhere in the world, and they can compete with the best in the world at any time. When I'm asleep at night, I don't wake up if there's any emergency, because I know I've got capable captains to lead the industry and to take over when I fall. Thank you very much, Minister and colleagues. That was my story.
Thank you very much, Captain. Just to read a short quote from the late Tina Turner, it says, "People think my life has been tough, but I think it has been a wonderful journey. The older you get, the more you realize it's not what happens, but how you deal with it." As we call the next speaker, I think it was the first of its kind, the African Leadership Conference that was held for maritime. And we say salute Saimi, Mr. Odom Tati. The floor is yours.
The reading of the verses has made me very nervous. Minister, the leadership and the delegates that are gathered here, good afternoon. You are supposed to respond. Thank you very much. The South African International Maritime Institute was established in 2014 as part of Operation Pagesa, the Ocean's Economy, to coordinate maritime skills development, education and training, as well as research and innovation. These cross-cutting measures are led by the Department of Higher Education and Training, which has then given Saimi the mandate as well as the funds to operate. This is done through the National Skills Fund. The institute is hosted by the Nelson Mandela University here. SAIMI firmly supports the aim and the intent of the event to promote the participation and the empowerment of women in the sector, and is honored to partner with the Department of Transport in the relaunch of WOMESA structure within the country. Of course, over the past few years, some of us who have been there for quite some time, sometimes relative, we have seen some progress in women's representation in the sector. However, there remains a substantial amount of work that still needs to be done. Both the private and the public sector have made certain commitments, but the commitments are sometimes not enough if they are not accompanied by active and intentional actions to enlist women as part of the teams. So that's what you say you are committed to. Unless there's an action plan that accompanies it, nothing is going to change. Slogans are important as a form of raising awareness, but you need to move beyond the slogans in order for us to manifest the meaningful participation of women within the sector. It is our collective responsibility to unlock the potential of the sector to make the country a globally competitive player. So it's a collective responsibility. And this we can do when we open up spaces that were intentionally closed for some, purely on the basis of the agenda. In line with the purpose of WOMESA to actively support the advancement of women in managerial positions and high levels within the maritime sector, SAIMI launched in 2018 the Sindiswa Carol Tu Klumayo Basar Scheme. It's funded by the National Skills Fund. This bursary fund is intended to enable young black women to pursue undergraduate and postgraduate studies in maritime-related fields. So those that are wanting to do undergraduate programs in any university in the country can apply senior degrees as well as postdoctoral studies can be supported by the fund. So if you wanted to ask me very difficult questions about this, there are women in the SAIMI team who would respond to such difficult questions. I'll take the easy ones. With WISTA and some within WOMESA, SAIMI conceptualized a maritime capacity development program, which is hosted by the Nelson Mandela Bay Business, Nelson Mandela University, with the support of both WISTA and WOMESA. And we are happy that as WOMESA reimagines, it takes its rightful place in the conceptualization of programs that would ensure meaningful participation of women within the sector. Program Director, as I conclude, SAIMI extends its appreciation to the Department of Transport, represented at the highest level by the Minister, for hosting the event. We trust that through the next 2 days, the deliberations will come up with tangible programs that would not only ensure the participation of women, but would ensure that within the upcoming years, women would be leading. Thank you very much.
Kutiwa, women will be leading, not might be leading, will be leading. As I call my next speaker from the Moses Kotane Institute, the one female on my list, Advocate Tembeleshe Mapipa. The stage is yours. She might be leading because she is not present. So Advocate is busy leading. As we progress, the last message of support will be in a form of a video from Amsong from Mr. Paul McClones. It's leading.
On behalf of our company and the AMSOL Board of Directors, I would like to extend my warm congratulations to the Honourable Minister, Cindy Siwe Chikunga, the South African Department of Transport, and all South African maritime stakeholders on the launch in our country of Women in the Maritime Sector in Eastern and Southern Africa, known as WOMESA. With a number of organizations focused on empowering women to move the maritime industry forward and into growth and development inclusively, I believe that the strong foundations already established will benefit from this important network. And please be assured that AMSOL is fully in support of this initiative. Through the International Maritime Organization and member states in the region, the door is now even more widely opened to ensure skills development needed to support the high level of competence the maritime industry demands. At AMSOL, not only is this a stated business intent, but also a shared objective to actively enable and ensure the sustainable inclusivity of women at all levels of the business, both at sea and ashore. Once again, our congratulations as WOMESA in South Africa moves us forward and in the right direction.
So they always say think Uncle George is still testing the sound. Hello. Apologies, colleagues. It's worse why I can't go to the next speaker because the one who must talk now, will you any issues for the next one? Any abandon. Miss Anene, can you hear us? Mama Katana.
Very much. Can you hear me? Okay. I would like to. Okay, I would like to congratulate you all, South African WOMESA. It's really good to see that you're relaunching WOMESA again. This is a milestone. And I would like to also say that happy International Day for Women in Maritime. It's a bit late to wish you a happy day in that regard, but since we are here to celebrate and relaunch this national chapter, I want to extend my congratulations in this regard and great work for you, ladies, and I would like to appreciate that. And it's really interesting to see some of founding members of WOMESA South Africa here today, and that's a great thing as well. I hope you will keep on shining and going, leveling up your contribution in the region as women in this sector. I today I would like to go through what WOMESA is, our mission as a region, and a little bit of about the constitution of WOMESA, and I will share my presentation with you in this regard. Um, the Association of WOMESA is an association for women in maritime sector, Eastern and Southern Africa region. If my slide pausing and not going to the next, that's a technical problem. I hope you will all understand this. So the association of this regional women association in the maritime sector is first launched and established in Mombasa in December 2007. And this association is a regional association. It's registered under the Kenyan government law, and its headquarters is set in Mombasa in Kenya. And the objective of this association is to represent the interests of women in the maritime sector, in the maritime industry, and promote promotes the continued education and training in the sector. And the other objective of this association is to advocate for gender equality and champion for the protection of marine environment and promote safe and secure shipping and port operation. I would like to focus on the final 2 points that are championing, protecting marine environment and safe and secure shipping is our key, and which is very close to the heart of WOMESA as a region, because most of in our region in Eastern and Southern Africa are dependent on the environment. We have a lot of fisher ports in our region, and those are dependent on the marine environment. And promoting safe and secure shipping and port operation is also another part we want to focus, because most of the women who are working in this industry are pushed out from the sector because of the insecurity and the unsafe environment of the shipping industry. So promoting this sector will assist us to increase the number of professional women in the sector. So these are the main objectives of our association as a region. Going to the constitution of this association, we have a new constitution. This constitution was drafted during COVID time in 2020. And it was endorsed on December 2021. It's really a new constitution. We have adopted with the help of the IMO. The constitution is formed out of 26 articles, which defines the objectives, membership, the rights and obligation of members, organization and management of the association, and functions of governing council. It also defines the relationship between the national chapters and the regional association, which is WOMESA regional. And other legal matters are also included in this constitution. Due to the limited time we have, I cannot go through all the provisions that are included in this constitution, but I would like to present to you a few provisions that are important to be presented to your national chapter at this day of the relaunch. But the full document of the constitution will be delivered to your secretariat by the head of secretariat from the regional association after this talk. As I mentioned earlier, and as it's mentioned in the Constitution, the headquarters of the association is currently domiciled in Mombasa, Kenya, and it's registered under the Act of the Kenyan government as well. Currently, we're working with the Kenyan government for the region, but this can be decided by the council in the future as well. So until otherwise it's determined by the council, the headquarters of the association will remain to be in Mombasa, Kenya. The national chapter shall be established in 25 member states, which are defined by the IMO as Eastern and South Africa region. Currently, we have successfully established 30 national chapters, mainly in Comoros, Ethiopia, Kenya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Namibia, Seychelles, Somalia, South Africa, relaunching now, and Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia. But we are planning to work to also establish in the remaining 11 countries, namely in Angola, Botswana, Burundi, Djibouti, Eritrea, Lesotho, Mozambique, Rwanda, South Sudan, and also Swatini. And Zambia. Member membership, how can we be a member to this association? Membership of the association shall be open to women working in or retired from the maritime sector of each member states and the 25 member states I have mentioned. And a member or a woman who's working in the maritime sector has to first be a member of the national charter to become a member of the association, the regional association, the regional WOMESA itself. And there are types of membership. The first type is individual membership. Second is corporate membership or the individual membership. An individual woman who is working in the maritime sector first has to come to the national charter where she is domiciled and then apply to be a member to the regional association, which is the regional association of WOMESA. Corporate associates and founder members and honorary members are also a type of membership to the regional WOMESA association. Principal organs of the association. What are the principal organs? What are the structures we have in the regional association? First one is the governing council. The council is one organ, and we have annual general meeting, the AGM. We do have trustees, administrative council, and secretariat. The governing council in WOMESA is the supreme organ of the association, and it's be responsible for formulating policies and providing strategic directions for the regional association WOMESA. Governing council shall consist of the following office bearers. It has president, vice president, secretariat, treasurer, monitoring and evaluation officer, communication and public information officer, and we'll have two council members, and the head of secretariat will be also part of the governing council. In this governing council, each member state will nominate their candidate, and it will be elected through the AGM, annual general council meeting. So, how's the relationship between the national charter and the regional WOMESA? The national charter of the association has to be established in accordance with the relevant local laws and the provisions of WOMESA Constitution, which is the constitution I am describing now. The constitution of the national charter shall in any way be inconsistent or contrary to the provisions of WOMESA's constitution, which is the regional. So when you draft your national charter's constitution, it has to be from the regional constitution. And the national charter shall appoint a member who shall liaise regularly with the secretariat of the regional association. And finally, the national charter shall remit 20% of the total revenue realized from fundraising and other activities to the regional secretariat. Finally, this constitution can be amended when two-thirds majority of the members vote to amend. So the vote has to be on the annual general meeting or a special general meeting that will be called by the council. So this will also be subject to a written consent of the registrar of the society, which is the Kenyan government registrar. And this is the final slide I have. And I am very worried that the internet is not stable. I'm sure that we have gained some points from this end, from the Regional Association of the WOMESA, how we work and how the institution operates and how we are related in this sector. So how we can integrate the national chapters and the regional association is clearly defined in our constitution. And I will leave this presentation and I will leave you with this and have a good time and congratulations again for the organizers of this South of Martyr launch, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Onene. The presentation will be available. Unfortunately, we couldn't reflect it on the screen, but it will be made available to all the colleagues who are in the room, and then we can extend it, because then it gives us the overview of what and who WOMESA is. Running fast, I'll be going to the head of Secretariat of WOMESA, Mama Rose. She's Mama Rose Mary Oili. She's located in Kenya. Uncle George. Uncle George. I think we're trying to establish a network with Kenya. Can you just give them 2 minutes? Just in the meantime, an announcement, someone who's driving a Dodge HLL 019 EC. Kuthiwa imoto yethu xa mama okanye tata ajampa. Maybe can I make a suggestion, because this is the item that is standing between us, just the Eastern Cape, Nehlelo 15. But it's an item that can be mixed with the item that we can do after lunch. So if the room is in, is she on the line? Okay. So before we go to lunch, maybe if there's anything, any contribution anyone would like to make, looking at the morning session, any feelings, all feelings are welcome. Can I give the opportunity to anybody? Can I ask anyone, let's make it freedom. Thank you, Mr. Madia, the DG of Maritime. Yes. That's correct. I think can we give because lunch was planned for 10:30. For 1:30. So can we maybe use this 15 minutes to engage so that while umlilo usavutha, then after lunch we know there's roaming mics. Any comments, colleagues? There is no wrong or right comment. It's a comment. The acting CEO of Post Regulator, I think I'm seeing her hand. Yes, no. She did raise her hand. Thank you, ma'am.
Talk about being put on the spot, but I guess as women or anyone in the maritime industry, you must always be prepared. I was telling someone earlier on that I was a Girl Scout, and our motto was be prepared. Yeah? Be ready and be prepared. Always be prepared.
Kuthiwa be ready and always be prepared.
Yes. I want to quickly just reflect on the messages that we have received from the greatest supporters of women in maritime, the men. But I also want to reflect on the message from our Honorable Minister, Imbokodo Yetu, when, first of all, she was talking about being very clear in terms of what we seek to do when we are relaunching. We need to be very, very clear and articulate what we're going to be focusing on. And Tsepiso will tell you, last night we were talking, and to say that tomorrow, when the women are busy with the voting and the governing structure, it must be about putting people that have a passion for maritime. It must be about the women who want to see. I know it's a story that the minister always always says, to say that a child that is in a rural area, how can they have access to the services and the facilities that are available within the maritime sector? And therefore, how then, as our agenda in the WOMESA, make it practical and make it a reality, that a child like me, who grew up in Xaxadu, who had no understanding or have never seen the sea, but here we are today. A child in Limpopo, a child in Kanduli, in the Northern Cape, Bloemfontein, somewhere. How do we have programs that are going to reach out to those children? How then, DDG, are we going to partner with TITA to make sure that the program we're going to have on skills development, that they are clearly customized programs that will ensure that those children have a very good foundation in terms of understanding the maritime. So as we progress with today's program, we need to be very deliberate in terms of the discussions. And tomorrow when we leave, there must be a very clear program of action. And how then in the next 90 days, we're going to present to the minister, through the DDG's office, the plans that we have, the calendar. We were even talking about what is going to be our calendar. What are those quick wins for us? So during lunchtime and during breaks, those are the discussions that we just need to have. And we really do appreciate the support from the men, from the captains of the industry. And we are really going to hold you to it. We're going to come knocking for funding. Some of us as women, we love money. So we'll come knocking on your doors for funding. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Acting CEO. Did you want to immediately respond?
Not actually to respond. I think the acting CEO is inputting the discussion. But also, Minister, I think the women in maritime should not shy to use this platform for economic emancipation. We have been very quiet and diplomatic about such, because through such activities, in a structured way, program director, we can be able to develop and open up opportunities. As we transverse the world doing government work, we get to sign some MOUs with other countries. Last week we attended European Union engagement with the minister. They kept on emphasizing the opportunities through Belgium and Antwerp that some of us have accessed before, to say that we need to take those opportunities. So WOMESA, when they craft their program of action, we should have that element of training and development, and using our bilateral agreement with other countries to say where are the opportunities that we can be able to send some of South Africans, particularly under the umbrella of WOMESA. I think we need to take that opportunity. Also, the opportunities on the value chain of maritime. Through these structures, I think we can be able to empower women. You've got the networking sessions that you must have to explore the opportunities, and you shouldn't be shy. That's what I want to emphasize. You shouldn't be shy to identify those opportunities and take them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, TDJ. I'm seeing the hand from Mamu, Dr. Bridget. Just up, Pamkako Mama. So Jula up says, yeah. Thank you, Doctor.
Honorable Minister, colleagues, observing all protocol. I was really heartened, Minister, by Sismpomi's very honest reflection on the journey. And I think it's a great sign of leadership when we are able and give a very truthful account of things that we have been able to achieve throughout the years, but also leave space for the more that we know we can achieve. Now that we've seen the results of what our collective efforts as these organizations in the maritime space can avail, it gives us a very good base from which to build. So I think it was great. And I'm equally reflecting, Minister, on your very clear direction and purpose for what you want to see arising from structures such as these. There are so many of them that are industry-based that have been formed throughout the years. By way of example, I was still a young girl, but part of the establishment of the South African Women in Construction, SAWIC. And I was alive also when SAWIT was established. So the challenge or the gauntlet that you threw to us this morning through your speech, Madam Minister, was to say it's one thing to establish these, it's another to be purposeful and intentional about what you want to see coming out of them. And so I'd like to believe that those amongst us that we have nominated to take us forward through a relaunched WOMESA. The gauntlet that the Minister threw this morning will ignite in us that kind of determination and passion and zeal. Now that we have seen what is possible to achieve through structures like WOMESA. So we can only hope that out of tomorrow, we'll get people that are fired up, we'll get visionaries, we'll get pioneers, we'll get the leadership that is able to think outside of the box about how we enhance the historic work that is done, but looking forward to what is possible to craft for the future. So we wish those that are nominated who will be appointed tomorrow everything of the very best. Can we just continue to working together as these those that come behind us to play a meaningful role. May they find us to have been faithful with the task that has been given to us. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Ms. Manjongo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Minister. My name is Ayanda from TNPA. I think as we are given this opportunity to reflect, which is much appreciated, because we have actually been fed with a lot of information, and as we know that information is, it empowers us. I think my takeaways from the keynote, it's really I think what my other colleagues have already just pointed out, it's the importance of reflection. And, you know, when you reflect, you are also not only reflecting on what didn't work, but also on what worked. And I think Mrs. Mbomi covered that very nicely. And of course, the success of WOMESA going forward is dependent on that reflection, lessons learned, but also on coming up with a program of action. I think on my side, in this, in Alwa North to this industry, also realize the benefits that come with WOMESA. So in so doing, I think we'll be able to reposition WOMESA and also make sure that it is impactful. What was also encouraging is the messages of support, of course, and we do know that we will hold our male counterparts accountable to that the support goes beyond these deliberations in the next today and tomorrow. And I think, yeah, I think it's for me, it's a celebratory moment, relaunching. Yeah, WOMESA is here, and I'm excited to be part of this movement. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a hand at the side from the chairperson of SANU. Yes.
I just want to reiterate that I am very impressed with all the beautiful young faces I see. Unlike a lot of other women formations, when I look at the leadership of Sandwood, we are almost ready. And when I look at the vibrant faces and I look at the enthusiasm, I'm telling myself, Africa is in good hands. To the women that has brought WOMESA to this day, I want to say to you, congratulations. You didn't fail. Failure is a happening, and that is what will never be done. It's not the end. It's just a bend. And when I'm looking at all the young faces, all the expectant faces, I'm saying to myself that you must have done a great job, because the organization might not have reached the goals that you had set yourself, but the objective was reached. when I look at all the success stories, all the young women that is sitting here in powerful positions, Madam Program Director, then I say to myself, great job. You are all the equipment and the resources that you have secured, then you have done a stunning job. I want to encourage the youngsters because I was just moving around and listening to conversations and even engaging in conversations. And some people say, nah, I'm not ready for leadership. I'm too young, too new in this space. I want to encourage you when that boardroom table seems so intimidating because it's all people with experience and expertise sitting there. If there is not a chair for you, go and look. The canteen will not be too far from there. Go and find that canteen table and chair. And even if you don't know where the canteen is, there will be a cleaning lady. I promise you, who knows everything about any business. If you want to know anything about any business, go and look for the cleaning lady. So she will find that chair and you go and make that space.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, can I just give two people 1 minute before I give the minister? Just two. Just two. Thank you, Nomketa. Just one more. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you. Good afternoon to our Honourable Minister, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nomketa Mbele. Firstly, I want to say congratulations to everybody that was involved in the relaunching of WOMESA. I, for one, am very excited. When I joined the industry as a young person, yes, I'm no longer young, in I think 2003, 2004, there was WOMESA at the time, and there were the likes of Sisi Mpumi, Selma Swats here today, Onon, and Clay Gordon, and many more. And I, for one, learned a lot from those leaders when I was still young, and I was entering the industry. And so I was saddened when those organizations ceased to exist. And that's why I'm so excited right now. And also, the industry has moved forward since then. We now have women in leadership, women that are very engaged, women in decision-making positions. And that's what excites me, that I'm hoping tomorrow when there's an election, that the women that will represent us will be intentional. We need to move this industry forward. There are those that are still coming behind us, and we can't fail them. We can't afford to fail them. So congratulations to everybody. I'm really looking forward, and I'm really looking forward to participate in WOMESA and contribute in whatever way that I can, so that our industry can grow further, that we bring more women into this industry, and that there are more women in leadership going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The last one, Ms. P.
Thank you so much. I'm really feeling the pain. Minister wants to say something. Can we stop it here? We can continue. I don't mind.
Your one is the last one, and then she's wrapping up. Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Phyllis Tefeto. I am the managing executive for the Western Region with TLPA, working with the Port of Cape Town, Saldanha, and Mosase. Colleagues, I'm very excited to be here. Just a few reflections from my side, and I want to talk about two things. The message from the minister, which touched on leadership. It's about what you are bringing on the table. It's about the content. It's about being genuine and dedication, and not about the names. That stood out for me.
because as she's setting it out for us, I'm looking at the history that Sisimpumi put so well. And she touched on leadership as well. And it went back to those things that the minister put for us. And I'm saying we are in a different position now. We have been having our colleagues, gentlemen supporting us. They've been there for us, different organizations. But I want us ladies to look at this point very importantly. We have female minister championing this. It makes a huge difference. There have been other ministers. I mean, it's simple we talk about Minister Jeffrey, but I can tell you the vision and the carry on won't be the same. When I'm looking at the minister that we have now, the fact that she's championing women and she's a woman, it makes a huge difference. And that's my take for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. As we wrap off, we give our mother to close our session for us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Program Director. A very interesting session, informative as well. Let me also appreciate Bomi's presentation on the history of WOMESA South Africa. And something set in my mind, do we have anything in writing about the work that the initial structure did? Because what actually you are saying are things that we know. For instance, I can confirm that even today we still do send people to the World Maritime University. We have products of India. They are there. But little did we know personally that WOMESA South Africa was behind that. We know there are schools, maritime schools already, but we didn't know. So I don't know whether we have a record of that to say this is how far we went, and therefore we can take it from here. I'm not sure about that. I think we do speak about skills, which I fully agree with. But the issue for me is which skills are we talking about in the maritime sector? Because I think it's important that we begin to be very specific. Because if you check today, there are young children who have gone to universities. They're sitting at home with maritime-related skills. Can we be purposeful now and say, these are the skills that we require? Other people already have skills, but have no experience whatsoever. Other people are at work, but we have not done as O.R. Tambo did to send people such as Mokele during the time when we were in exile, to say when we take over as government, you will lead in maritime, you will lead in aviation, you will lead in this. Who are the young people preparing to take over and lead some of these institutions in the maritime sector, who we can actually send to some of the ports in the world that are doing well, and we pay for them so that they go there, they learn and so on. Then they come, they lead in these sectors. And I believe this is the time where we need to do that, including being ready and prepared to spend money. So that we can have people. It helps. I think it is good that we have people who, we have upper masters, I'm happy about that, who are women. However, I wouldn't want to have harbour masters who are doing their work maybe as harbour masters, but in the ports such as Richards Bay Port, I'm making an example, where you see trucks, the traffic of trucks up to N2. And that says maybe the port is not working as efficient. And you associate them with that. I think what we also need to do is to ensure that we give them the support that they require, so that where they are efficient, because the port